everybody, and welcome. My name is John Burgess, and on behalf of the team at peopleswaveoflove.com, I'd like to welcome you today. We're having a brief interview with my friend Marshall Golden Eagle Jack, who is a Paiute elder, ceremonial leader of many, many years, creator of the water wheel ceremonies, and founder of peopleswaveoflove.com. Welcome, Marshall.
Thank you, John. And so what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I have the great honor of, I met you about 7 years ago, have sat in many of your ceremonies, and one of the elements that I keep hearing you express is the idea about calling upon the ancestors for help and support. So today I wanted to ask you, what do you mean, or who do you mean about the ancestors, and why is it so important?
Yeah, that's a big question. Very important question. When I was growing up with the elders, they always mentioned three things. First is permission. We've already done a little short video on permission. The other one is offerings. They always gave offerings. And the most important one, I feel, are our ancestors. It's the spirit of our ancestors. And so I had many questions when I was growing up. It was like, well, who are the ancestors? Where are they? We got to go dig them up, or what do we do? And so over the years, I've learned that what they were speaking about was the original ancestors. And sometimes they would say the original ancestors of the four directions. So what they actually mean or meant by that was that the first people, if you were, the first of our kind, were gifted a knowledge, what I call the first instruction knowledge. And so those ancestors that were living, who knows how many thousands of years ago, they were directly communicating with the Creator, the Holy Spirit, whatever we want to call it up there. And they were getting downloads of what to do. They were getting guidance. They were getting visions of where to go. And so in today's world, in today's ceremonies, we still use that additive of calling in the ancestors. So, I was in a ceremony a while back, and one of the participants there, they said, well, I don't know if I want to call in my ancestors. My ancestors weren't really all that great. And I said, well, you're getting the point, but we're going way beyond our ancestors, say, in the last couple of hundred years. We're going way back to the original ancestors who carried the original wisdom and the original instructions. And so when we call upon them in ceremony, in spirit, if you will, that's who we're calling in, is that we're asking for guidance and wisdom and understanding from them. Or we can also call in the ancestors of Mother Earth, call in all of the ancestors of the plants, the animals, the water kingdoms, so on and so forth. And so embedded in our lands, there's these, what we call these footprints of our ancestors. And the footprints, sometimes they lead us to sacred sites where there's writings on the rocks, or the petroglyphs or whatever. Our ancestors were the ones who created all of those years ago. And so we're summoning in the ones who knew that knowledge. So I hope that maybe answers a part of the question that you asked.
Yes, thank you very, very much, Marshall. That was very helpful. But this begs another question, put you on the spot. So you always talk about also the holy ones, honoring the holy ones, and how special that is. So can you elaborate a little bit on what you mean by the holy ones? And are they the same as the ancestors?
Right. Basically so. Every morning I go outside and I wait for the sun to come up. And I ask permission to be a part of this day. But I also ask permission to speak with the holy ones, to speak with the Creator, speak with the Great Spirit, and also to speak with all of my ancestors. both on my mother and my father's side. Again, those ancestors are the original ancestors. So I'm asking permission to speak with all of that realm up there above us, kind of beyond our human form, if you will. And so when I'm asking or calling upon the Creator and the Holy Spirit, the divine ones, if you will, I'm asking permission to call them in. It's just like asking permission to call in all of the ancestors. It's kind of like a formal greeting that I'm connecting with. And when I do that, I feel a sensation in my body that's very unique. Because if I'm focused, am I prepared, and I go out and I sit in my little chair in the morning and I clear my mind. I let the outside world kind of go out there, if you will, kind of go way out there and leave me alone for a couple of minutes. And that's when I call in all of the ancestors, call in the holy ones, call in the spirits, the guides, the plants, the animals, the spirit of the animals, and whatever. So that might not be a definite answer to your question, but is there anything more that you might want to add to that?
Wow, that's that's a lot. Well, the thing about it is the way I interpret that is this is about connecting ourself beyond our intellectual mind, connecting with the earth, beyond our physical body, connecting with our spirit and our soul to do the holy work, to do the work of spirit. And so I can get a sense because that all of that is very, very important. And on the feeling level, the different strata that enlivens of the connectedness within us to the holy realms, and can see how important and how valuable that really is.
And during the people's wave of love, it's very important for all of us around the planet to get synchronized, if you will. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a sacred space, obviously, in the morning. And we're going to clear our mind out, let the world be out there. And we're all going to ask permission to call in all of whatever is sacred to you as an individual, whether it be Jesus, whether it be Allah, whether it be, the Creator, or, whatever you call that higher being in your life. We're asking permission. And that's very important that we all do that. We're asking permission to be guided by the holy realms. The second important process is having offerings of water. We're going to be using water, and to have that available and have that sitting next to you, or out in the yard, or on your little sacred mound, whatever. And the third one, and I feel this is about maybe more important than the offerings, and that's calling in the ancestors. Those three things is what we're asking the world to do. Everybody, wherever you live around the planet, those are the only three things we're asking you to do. Kind of going back to the ancestors. When we ask permission to call in the ancestors, what we're asking for is we're asking permission to call in all of the people, all of the animals, all of the plants, all of the water kingdoms. We're asking permission to call in all of the ancestors, both on their mother and father's side, to be with us here this day. Now, if you really think about that, that is powerful. Because we're not only asking for our loved ones or our next door neighbors, or whoever may be in our vicinity. We're calling upon all of the ancestors around the world living today, both on their mother and their father's side, to join up with us. If every individual does that, we can definitely make a shift. Very powerful.
That is a beautiful description, Marshall. Thank you so very, very much for that. And that's inspiring. I actually feel more connected right now just hearing that description. So thank you very, very much for that. And for our viewers out there, I just wanted to thank you again for joining us today. Remind you to please follow us on our website, peopleswaveoflove.com. Please do sign up for the newsletter, which we'll be updating that very frequently to keep you posted on upcoming events. Follow us on Facebook page and on YouTube and Instagram. And we have two ceremonies coming up. The first is the spring equinox starting March 18th. The second one will be the summer solstice starting on June 18th. Please do stay in touch with us. And Marshall, do you have any closing remarks to make?
No, we're going to be following up with more dialogue, and during the events, we're probably going to create videos for each day. Each day will have an intention of what we're all asking everybody to pray for that day or to give their energy to that particular day. And so don't feel alone out there. Don't be afraid. You know, this is a new way of understanding how we can literally change this planet. And it's going to take some practice. So we're going to give you as many opportunities to practice and feel your way around this energy. And there's no right way or wrong way. It's your way, whatever you feel comfortable with. But again, permission, offerings, and ancestors. Those are the keys to these ceremonies. So right now, I want to thank John and thank all of the staff behind us that are producing these videos and all of our supporters out there. And you know, we're managing on a it's a very small budget. So if you feel in your heart, you can help us out there and support us with some donations. That'd be beautiful. So again,
there is a link on the website for donations for support if you feel like you're motivated to do that. So again, thank you so very, very much, Marshall, for your time, for your words of wisdom. And thank you all for joining us. Many, many blessings. And please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions. Blessings to all.
Blessings.